Oh,
Hello, and welcome to Dash Force News, Three Amigos podcast. And I think I might be in a bit too early then. Might just jump the gun a bit too fast. People in the live chat already, welcome. We'll be taking your questions in a bit. So if you have any questions, please start writing them away and we'll get to them after we've done a brief introduction. It's been another busy week for Dash. It's actually been a monumental week for Dash. We had the official Dash roadmap that was released. We had an open letter from Evan and Ryan regarding Dash marketing. And we, not to mention the first two pieces of six documentations from Evan regarding Hong Kong Dash research and planning and how to enable on-chain scaling. Before we start talking all about that, I'd like to introduce my two fellow amigos, Joel and Brian.
Hi, guys.
Guys, is there anything in particular you would like to jump into first or discuss, or anything that you'd like to bring to the table first?
Joel?
Is that a no? I tell you what.
I'm deferring to you, Brian. You seem to have a bunch of stuff to get off your chest, and I know I'm way too wordy anyway.
How about I do the network stats, just tradition.
The hash rate.
Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point. I've got something I can say there. So, okay, guys. So the Dash price and masternode stats currently are. Last time I checked, it may have changed, but I think this was about 20 minutes ago. The current price of Dash is $184. The Dash market cap is 1.3 billion US dollars. There are currently 4,570 active masternodes. Each masternode currently earns approximately 6.91 Dash per month. That's $1,265 per month before expenses. The Dash treasury stats are, in terms of voting, there is only 1 day left remaining to vote for proposals. The Dash treasury budget is currently standing at 1.2 million US dollars. 18 of 29 proposals have been approved. And for the approved proposals, that is 66.86% of the allocated budget. That's over 800,000 US dollars for this month alone. And finally, for the mining stats, last time I checked, it was 6.46 terahash. Although I've noticed it's fluctuated a lot today, I'm presuming this is due to Genesis mining contracts being available again.
Interesting.
And those were the network stats for Dash.
Right. So, Brian, Joshua says you look sexy today.
Oh, thank you. He's my secret admirer. I knew I had a secret admirer out there.
Yes.
They're offering to send me a camera and a microphone, and yeah. No, it's
all that good stuff.
The camera's going, but yeah, I'm still waiting on a tripod. There's a bit much of a wall back there, so hopefully everything will be more uniform with the other guys next week.
I'm going to start adding to my wall. I got this thing sent to me a while ago. It's a picture, like an artwork about the Bitcoin halvening, and in the corner there's a little Bitcoin QR code because it's like a paper wallet. So I thought that was cool, and I might just shove that up on the wall. And then there's a couple Dash things I'm getting, so it doesn't look all empty. CoinGun was talking smack last time about the Evan interview because he's like, "You got your bare wall there. Is your mom going to come into your room?" and all that stuff.
Yeah, CoinGun's a punk.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
that's why I stuck him with a Monero sticker. Anyway, yes.
Studios just said masternodes up, and that's a really good point. 4,570 active masternodes is quite high, isn't it?
How many?
4,570.
Yeah, there was 4,600 I saw just yesterday.
So yeah, you're right, Studios. That is pretty high and good going for now. Always can do better though, and I'm sure there'll be more masternode shares coming on, and hopefully with the news of Dash this week, we've attracted a lot of attention, and hopefully people will be getting more involved. And if you watched Joel's fantastic interview with Evan, just in the comment section alone, a lot of people were asking in regards to the masternode shares and the denominated voting that would come with that as well. That seemed to be the most popular comment and request from people commenting. But yeah, that was a great interview with Evan. Joel.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of the pie, of course, and everyone wants a piece of the voting pie, and it's completely understandable. I think from what Evan said, and of course someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the holdup on getting fragmented pieces of masternodes on a protocol level has been technical rather than willing, right? They would have it tomorrow, but just because of how complicated the whole solution is, right? All of evolution, the whole framework's gonna be so complicated that it'll take a while to figure out how to do that. And so in the meantime, though, that's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, no, you have to be a rich person. Only the rich get to vote with Dash. It's like, you mean only the Dash get to vote with Dash, right? So there's nothing preventing you from getting together with a few friends, getting a masternode together, and then deciding collectively how to vote, right? You just have to. Unfortunately, there is a little element of trust at that stage. However, there's a couple cool things coming. First off, there is Dash is getting a copay wallet in September, according to the roadmap. Nice. So that would make it easy to have multiple people access the same wallet. So you could, let's just say you had a copay wallet, and copay, for example, supports at least as far as I know, like a Ledger hardware wallet. I don't know about Trezor, but you could have. I mean, maybe this is where I start sounding like an idiot, and people can correct me, right? From my understanding, that means you can have a copay wallet that multiple people can access on a hardware wallet and run your masternode off of that. So you could have a masternode where everyone controls their collateral, right? And as covered in the interview, Evans said that there's a way you could build a quick and dirty governance system on top of that, of ways for masternode share providers to allow for voting. And he said that if there was enough demand, he'd write up some quick specifications. And there was a lot of demand, and I think he's going to do it. So, yay!
Yeah, I was wondering if that was also going to apply to the rewards. That was I was going to pull up that list that we had put together when we were prepping for the interview and kind of just go through it.
Yeah, I was just going to say quickly, so I believe it was the Hong Kong article that Evan released on Monday before the roadmap was released. And there was kind of, when I was watching the interview with Evan, because in that Hong Kong article, he kind of mentions like the voting in the shares of the masternodes was part of the plan anyway. But then in the video, he's just like, well, I can do it. It didn't seem so certain. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but obviously everyone wants it and people are asking for it. So I'm sure it will be taken care of. But yeah, when Evan said, he kind of made it sound initially like it was down to the other service providers like Flare, Moo and Splawik 21 to be able to do that, enable it themselves. But then obviously he said that he would write documentation in the video if there was enough demand for that. So
yeah, that would make it easier.
There was a discrepancy from what he wrote to what he said in the interview a little bit, because that was one of my main interest bits, because Vevolution, I'm not a master owner. So that for me, that was a big thing. And I also noticed in the roadmap, it's towards the end of 2018, which is a long way off, but it seems to be the most requested, demanded thing. So fingers crossed they can bump that up.
Yeah, that's not. I think we'll have to bootstrap it in the meantime. Just get a copay wallet, and then whatever governance structure it comes out with, and sort of hack it.
Yeah, I'd like Evan to expand on it more. I know he talked about voting, but everybody is kind of wants the rewards part of it. That may be more difficult to do. I don't know. I suspect it would be.
Yeah, I mean, why does it have to be the end of 2018? Because in the video, Evans kind of made it sound like it was something that the service providers could enable themselves if, the work in place was there. So it wasn't something initially specific to Evolution. It could be done through people that have super shares with those services. So there is potential if there's the work ethic there and the demand for it. It could be available before through those service providers prior to evolution. So
yeah, I was thinking it was going to be a trustless type solution before Evo came out.
Yeah,
I don't know, that it seems complicated.
Yeah, and I think the important thing with all these is they're all scheduled. Everything's supposed to happen. It's just that when can you actually expect it? And the when can you actually expect it isn't when are you guys going to get around to it. It's more how quickly can we make this feasible, right? Because let's not forget that evolution is trying to do basically everything. Everything in the world is just going to build the new world. So there has to be a little bit of patience involved in all that stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I mean, I was surprised, and let me know in the comments if you agree as well. All the estimations that we've heard in other presentation stuff kind of made it sound like evolution, the first iteration of it would be at the end of the year. So when I saw September, that month, I think everyone's excited saying, wow, this is going to get, I mean, obviously it's going to be testnet. And but even still, it was a lot sooner than I was expecting. I think a lot of people were kind of expecting it to be delayed because of communication issues, but yeah, it really took me. So that's a really big positive thing. And from memory, that's just going to focus on user accounts. Now, how big that testnet will be, whether it's 100 users or 200 users or more, we'll have to see. Hopefully, Dashforce can get involved with that with Splarwick 21. So make sure you keep it locked to Dashforce News if you do want to be a part of that. And hopefully we'll have more that we can update on that closer to the time.
Yes, and I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of difference of opinion in if it's in how optimistic the new update is, right? I'm sure like some people were like, evolution is going to be out this summer. Like we're going to be using evolution and you're going to be taking it to merchants this summer. I have a feeling a lot of people thought that. And then when is any part of like user facing evolution going to be in public market? It sounds like it's going to be a year from now rather than like now when some people. So I think there's like a year discrepancy between people's expectations. I think the communication has, well, of course, recently been very clear. And in the past, I don't think it was ever misleading. I think it was just kind of fuzzy and not updated. But it's like, obviously, some people read the same things and they're like back and forth, like, this is it, or this is the way it's going to be, this is the way it's going to be. And then they
Brian, you're in the Slack, right? Just so you know, just so you don't share anything you don't want to.
No, I figured this episode would pretty much be about, what Evan had talked about and the whole Evan coming back. Although he was never really gone, he was just, planning. And, yeah, well, he was. I mean, whenever he announced he was taking the advisory role, some people kind of got worried about that. I was really excited because I knew, if other people can code, let him do what he does best, and that's be the ideas person, and that's exactly what he was doing. He was very busy. But now I pulled up that list that we had put together when we were prepping for the interview. I just kind of wanted to go down it so we make sure we cover everything there. And the first one I had was about, his masternode. This is a question for Joel because I'd kind of forgotten what he had said. But during the Phoenix meetup, he had said he was going to allocate those he's going to donate them to various DAOs and sub-DAOs. And you had asked him about that. And I believe he said some of it was going to be used for Dash Labs. What did he say the rest was going to be?
Can I just say, a really important thing to clarify here. Evan currently is not running any masternodes.
He has like 50 something masternodes, I believe.
No. In the open house event, he said that he is running no masternodes anymore. He announced he's got 256,000 coins from the person in the audience member that asked, but he said he's not running any masternodes because he felt it was a conflict of interest in terms of governance. And 80% of those 256 coins he would like to dedicate to other sub-DAOs in the future. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So that's important.
That's what I understood as well. And obviously you have to ask very directly again, but I understood the same thing is that he had the funds for the all his masternodes still around, but just had taken down the actual masternodes, was not getting rewards from them or voting from them. And I did before going live on the interview, I did mention this and just asked if he wanted something you wanted to cover, and he said probably not for this time, because I guess we're focusing on evolution and the roadmap and all that, and it's kind of like, I mean, as it was a pretty rapid fire interview, just going wham, 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 going through all these points, just trying to get everything down pat on all the new exciting stuff. And I just feel like there's a time and place for going over that old stuff, but it's almost like the old like initial distribution argument. Like, well, we're still talking about how many coins does Evan have from 2014 kind of thing. It's like,
yeah,
it's still kind of that thing. And it's like, sure, it's going to be important at some point to get that really hashed out, but I think he felt that it would be like a waste of time for this short interview.
Yeah, I would like clarification on that, because I thought that he was going to take down just what he said, the 85%, but I thought he was still going to run the 50 or so. Hopefully he is. I don't see any problem. He should.
That's why I wanted to make it absolutely 100% clear, because that's the first thing that trolls jump onto, and that was the one thing that Evan wanted to make abundantly clear when he was asked that question by an audience member at the open house, to say, because the question was, how many masternodes do you own? How many coins do you have? And he said, I don't have any masternodes. I have 256,000 coins. And everyone's mouth kind of dropped. And even Amanda and Ryan sort of look at Evan. And then Evan explained, the situation.
It was kind of known. He had actually disclosed that before in the Bitcoin talk there, long time ago. He had disclosed it, but he hadn't updated us in a long time as to what he had. But yeah, I was under the impression that he was still going to keep the 50 or whatever up, and then he was going to give like the 85%, which I think is like 200 away to the Dash DAO. But I thought he was going to keep some up. He should keep some up. I mean, he deserves it. But
he said no masternodes, 256,000 coins, and 80% of those coins he's going to contribute to other sub DAOs. And he also mentioned at the time about sub DAOs in international countries as well, and started talking about scaling and MongoDB databases and some other ideas that are floating around. So it's quite fascinating, like going back. But the biggest thing out of all, even the people that knew the amount of coins, was when he said he was going to give away 80% to other sub DAOs to help grow the ecosystem and network in necessary areas. That was probably the biggest announcement that overshadowed the whole open house event.
Yes, anyway, and that tends to be Evan's modus operandi. Is anytime he speaks, just something. It's not. He doesn't just say something. It's something you like catch and like pour over for the next few months. He just dumps out little truth bombs. So from Roel in the chat says, it's curious that the Dash announcements haven't had an effect on Dash's price, though. I'm in it for the long run and don't mind much, but still weird considering how speculative the crypto market is. I don't think so. I don't think it's that weird. I honestly had like a 50-50 if we'd see a little price bump or not, but I didn't expect anything major. Just because, for one thing, evolution has been planned and hyped and all that stuff before, and it's not like anything, oh my gosh, it's so new. Like, the devil's in the details for like how new it is. And the big thing is there's just not a lot of hype surrounding Dash. They're just like, Litecoin just says, oh, well, we're going to try to do and then boom, all of a sudden, before it was even a certainty that would happen, all of a sudden the price just goes to the moon. And then they're like, oh, well, we're going to test the Lightning. Oh, boom. And Charlie Lee quit. Boom. It goes to the moon.
Yeah.
Right. It's just here. It's just like, we're going to scale. We have a scaling is a big thing. Bitcoin can't scale. Ethereum can't scale. And now we have a plan that's going to scale to that like 5,000 transactions a second and beyond. Right. We're going to have a massive scaling plan, every little bit worked out, even hardware requirements. And we're not going to wait for someone to build that. We're going to do it ourselves. Very detailed, very laid out. Amazing, I think. Yeah. And who the hell cares? No one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating in the crypto world, right? Seeing how few people care about how far ahead of everyone else Dash is. But at the same time, I find it very satisfying because I know that makes the few of us who could see it, that makes us so much better off in the long run relative to the rest of the field.
Yeah, the plan's also really, it's a long term plan. So people are, it's not going to be anything that's going to happen immediately. But there, didn't y'all say there was like six? There's going to be six announcements, and how many have we had?
Yeah.
Two?
So on Evan's Medium, there has been only 2 announcements of 6, and the first 2. So we had Monday's one, which was the Hong Kong Dash research and planning, and the second one, which was on Wednesday, I believe, which was how to enable on-chain scaling. I tell you, I was actually worried coming into this because I've had a really hectic day that I didn't think I was going to recall that much information from that stuff. But my 2 takeaways from that was, 1, November, 2 megabyte block size upgrade. And 2, the thing that no one expected was the transition in the roadmap, talking about from 2 megabytes to 400 megabytes. That just blew everyone away.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing. That's been talked about before with various coins, like, well, mostly just Bitcoin. When you're talking about, oh, eventually, what is it going to be? 400 megabytes? Yeah, maybe. All this speculation. Then, when talking about raising the block size and Dash's scaling, that's something similar has always been sort of in the back of people's minds. But just to hear the number of just like people are like, well, the block size, if it gets too big, centralization. If it gets too big, it can't. All this stuff, and then Dash is just like, no, Honey Badger don't care. 400. What do you think of that, guys? Ooh.
Yeah, so people won't be running the local wallet so much. Everything will be like run through an Evolution wallet through the DAPI. That's what's going to allow the 400 megabytes. So it's going to be quite a change, but it will still maintain decentralization. Pretty, 4,000 something. Who knows at the time what it will actually end up being? Probably closer to 5,000 plus master nodes by the time it's all. But it'll ramp up, as Evan pointed out. It'll be different stages, and
yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out to Blake in the live chat. Hi,
yeah,
Blake.
I told him to come. Hi, Blake.
How's it going? So for those watching it who don't know who Blake is the guy that I did a video interview on this channel. You can watch that after you finish watching this. And if you're a Masternode owner and you've not voted yet, there's only 1 day left. Blake is the guy that's got the Dash Bus tour proposal with the Volkswagen camper van decked out in Dash branding and a whole game plan of outreach for 1 month. So if you haven't voted yet, like I say, 1 day left, go over there and vote for him right now.
Yeah, I was checking. We still have, there's like 2,000 something Dash left on the table. I mean, I can't believe that's not going to get funded. But even if it does not get funded, which it doesn't, I guess it doesn't look like it is. Last time I checked, it was far behind. But I brought it up to you guys, and I think we all agree that if it doesn't get funded, we'll help him sponsor his fee for this next one, so people will see he'll put out, he'll do his thing. People will see the value in it, and yeah, we'll help him out.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the Dash network is it's a network of people, and there's a lot of ways of doing discretionary funding that's not, you don't have to ask the treasury for every single thing. And I remember something in the conference call, right? The quarterly call that just got released for Dash Core is Ryan was talking about the defunding the core team as like the nuclear option, right? As like, if you really don't like them, you just torpedo the whole team. But it's like there's a lot of things in between, a lot of signals in between, governance signals in between. For example, lower vote, you pass, not all of your proposals pass, right? Or they could all pass, but by less and fewer and fewer votes, something like that. Or just there's other ways that they get the signal without that nuclear option. And in the same way, there's plenty of ways of getting stuff done without submitting a successful proposal.
Yeah, I saw somebody had brought up that the reason why that particular proposal may not be getting as many votes is because they said we've kind of been burned in the past on those type things, but I didn't really necessarily see it that way. I think some of those other proposals could have been done better, the bus tour type things, but I don't necessarily think that we got burned. There was other proposals maybe that weren't that great. One thing I did want to ask for the people in the comment section about our volume, because I know there's been different levels and the different videos. Is everybody's volume coming in good? Everybody about the same?
Yeah,
Right.
so we'll see.
There's
what
a
they'll
bit
say.
of
In the meantime,
yeah, there's about a 5 to 20 second delay in the live chat for us, so
of course.
you might have to wait a little while.
Well, so in the meantime, I'm just going to go for this question. Schnupdog asked, Evan talked about unused funds of the treasury not being burned anymore. How'll that look in the future? I hope you got what I mean. Yeah, that was a bomb that was kind of dropped, and with Evan his brain is so not today. It's so, they say Evan's today looking back at today as the past. Like he's just thinking off in the future. It's sometimes hard to decipher with what he says. Is he talking about just something that already is? Is he talking about something he's working on, or is he talking about something that conceptually could be, right? And as far as unused treasury funds, he says that they're all still set away.
Yeah.
But they can be unlocked through a special kind of proposal in times of need or whatever, and just be created the next super block, right? And I have not heard of that before, and I have also I'm pretty sure a special proposal type like that does not yet exist. There does not yet exist a vehicle for that. So it sounds like he's saying we could do this and probably should do this.
Yeah,
that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, there's been, people, they're burned, and people said no, they're not. But and somebody brought up the fact that, well, yes, you could bring those back, but you could also increase the supply from, the estimated 19 million to 40 million. I mean, these things are all possible. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. And I don't know how, I guess the community will have to vote on that and to see if we want to resurrect those funds. I think we have so much funding now, and in the future it's going to be even more. I don't even know if we'll need to. Plus Evans, what he said, he was going to donate. I think we should have more than plenty. I would like to see as much used as possible.
Yeah, I would definitely want to see the same thing. I think that's the reason why that it's at 10%, not like 2% or something. I really think I like the idea of the savings thing, because the 10% block reward thing is kind of arbitrary, and you might have a month where you just need everything. You might have another month where you don't, but then you want to spend that so that Dash is out in the local Dash economy being spent, and you want to just get some value rather than nothing in the short term. But then there's another month where you just like, we just can't. We have this great idea. We just have to wait till next cycle and hope there's enough to get through. And it would be. Yeah, I think it would help. It's like people save for a rainy day for a reason, right? And the fact just Dash having to just deal with this conveyor belt of money coming through and not having this rainy day kind of thing. Yeah,
me and Mark had talked about a potential solution to that. I guess we'll talk about it later about what to do with some of those funds. It's an interesting idea, but yeah, we'll see what's left on the table next month, and
Yes, and so if nothing else, this is if nothing else, I think that having that option available is very good for social issues, because there's always this, well, I can't believe we funded that. That's terrible. Masternodes need to get it together. They're stupid. And then there's also we're throwing away all this money. We hate you. We're going to go on to another coin. But there's just a lot of strife that comes around the spending or not spending of that treasury, right? And so having that where you can just spend on the good stuff, and then the rest of the stuff is still like not wasted or available just for social cohesion sounds like a good idea. Even if they never end up getting resurrected, just having that option to keep people quiet. I don't know.
Yeah, these are tough questions, and yeah, thank God we have the governance. I mean, that is just that's revolutionary, and yeah, coins that don't have that, they're going to be in trouble. But one thing that came up it was last week, and on the last episode was about the CMO thing,
Marketing.
and yeah, and then the it's kind of continued. It's kind of the debates kind of continued over. I think we all kind of tend to fall somewhere in between, what Core's wanting with the marketing and what some of the other people who are wanting, the mass marketing now. I think just a happy medium is what's going to be best. And we just got to figure out what that is. And looks like we'll be voting on it. I haven't checked that CMO proposal. Is it passing now? Have y'all checked it?
No, it's really hosed. It's very far from passing.
Oh, really? I thought it was fairly close, and I haven't checked it. Let me check.
I guess a few people voted, and right now, where is it? Yeah, it's very far away. It needs an additional 414 votes to pass. It's almost even with yes and no's. Just got nuked. And yeah, I think it's one of those things where I guess the later in the game voters jump in and keep doing that. And yeah, it's very, everything really solidifies towards the end, right? You have all these passing ones that are still passed, and then you have a bunch of red ones that just like aren't. The only exception to that is the Dash treasury thing, which is a solid yellow. And now it needs about 132 more votes to become funded or agreed upon. So that doesn't look like it's going to pass either, but it's not by such a large margin.
Yeah, I actually support the CMO thing. I thought people had, once the Dash Treasury guys had said that they were going to take themselves out of it, and it was just basically a question for the network: should we do it? I saw a lot more support. I turned my support when they said that, because they're just new guys and they understood that, and they thought that it should be handled by Core or somebody that's a more senior member in the community that's been around for a while. And I did see a shift, at least in the comments. So that's kind of surprising. I just checked. It was like 600 to 600. As far as the Dash Treasury deal, I kind of do support that. But it all depends on what kind of funding they want. If they're going to do it for free, then go for it. If it's going to be a lot of funding, then that's going to be the question. I think we should have multiple review committees. So I think I said this last time. So no one person or group takes the, steers the direction. We should have plenty of review committees.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I think it's the one review committee that headed by Bill Tong. The interesting thing about that is I haven't seen any proposal from that. I haven't seen any sort of official governance question of, do we like it? And that's the thing about that I think has thrown people for a loop with Dash Treasury when, it's because you see all these comments there like, this is a great idea. We don't have a good review site like this. We just need more of this to make sure everything's well spent. And then it seems like a lot of people might have taken issue to the fact that it was like a governance question. It seemed to be trying to be the only show in town, or at least that was the perception.
Yeah. It was a land grab. I labeled it as a land grab type thing, and it kind of was, but it was smart on their part. I mean, it was very, it was very, they kind of jumped ahead of the thing. But Bill Tom's is in pre-proposal right now, so we're going to be sponsoring. We're going to be helping him with the fee to get that going. So I believe that's coming next month. I need to do a Skype with him.
Yes. So to answer a question from the audience, who wants to let Mark speak? I don't think I'd be in favor of that at this moment. We should probably put that to a governance question. Yes, but I think that we're a little bit too young in the evolution development to be able to afford such a technical risk. Never mind. What do you want to say, Mark?
Wow.
Cat got your tongue.
No. When we was talking back originally just about the burning of funds a while ago, I think everyone's in favor of resurrecting them. But what really is the interesting thing is the process behind it, because Evan mentioned a kind of like super proposal. That's the thing that interests me. How would you go about implementing that? What would the process be? So that was the one thing. And secondly, I don't think we really answered Roel's question earlier on. We just kind of like sidetracked him. So apologies for that.
What was it?
He was kind of asking about the price situation, about it not going, the price not going up and reflecting from the roadmap announcement and so and so.
Yes,
it's long term. It's a long term plan. That was my answer to it. This is a very. It's not like a short term thing like these others that you would see a quick spike.
And with regards to the CMO situation, it's kind of difficult because when Ryan and Evan released their kind of open letter regarding marketing, that kind of like changed the situation. So it was kind of weird because it kind of made it difficult to be in favor of that CMO proposal was kind of going against of what Evan and Ryan were suggesting in that open letter, where they're breaking it down, what they liked, they didn't like. They went down different sections. They expressed how they felt about giveaways and relating it to sort of ICOs, and they'd much rather focus on, in terms of value and promoting businesses or the advantages of Dash, rather than using other sort of methods. But and then towards the end, they mentioned about seeking out a marketing firm as well. However, they've got other roles and positions that they need to fill first. So there's still no ETA on that. So there's still a big question mark. Lots of people got questions, but that seems to be the flavor, that was the flavor of the month of June. Everyone was asking about marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, we've also seen a delay. We also see a delay in the price going up. I'm looking at it right now. It's 0.072. And if y'all remember when we had the last release, there was a nice, fairly long delay before the price just exploded. So yeah, it may still be coming. So, I mean, don't sell your Dash. So it could jump. The markets are unpredictable.
Yeah, and here's another thing about that whole thing. I think the crypto markets are largely insular, right? They're either like in club or they're a bunch of newbies coming in and throwing money at anything, right? There's not a lot of the in between, which is really what hits Darkcoin. Wait, it hits. Oh, sorry. Someone said Darkcoin in the chat and it just popped into my head. But yeah, Dash. It's not really the thing that hits Dash, because it's not like the whole, well, Bitcoin and SegWit and Ethereum and ICO little like group, like click kind of thing. So no one really cares if Dash does a thing, because Dash is sort of like the red-headed stepchild of crypto. It's like two going for mainstream, two little cypherpunk tendencies, even though it's, very usable by that sector. It's kind of just the cultural thing makes it a little bit less susceptible to the ups and downs of the insular crypto world. And then the outside world just thinks of digital money as Bitcoin. Yeah. And so both of those big, wild market swingy forces seem to operate on either side of Dash. Dash is in the eye of the crypto market storm.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week, and I completely agree with just what Joel said, because the drama this week, especially with the Ethereum price crash down, it's obviously recovering now, but that kind of creates a kind of hysteria as well. People still in the Bitcoin world are seeing that drama unfolding every day. So although
Satoshi's back, did you hear?
Yeah, if you've not read the article that Joel's posted today, a few hours ago, go check it out. It's very interesting. The drama never seems to end. Popcorn time in the Bitcoin world.
Quick recap of that situation is Bitcoin couldn't scale for the longest time. And then the two sides, the Bitcoin Unlimited big block side versus the SegWit Pro Core side, kind of built up and got to a head, and then finally got really bad. And a compromise was reached that sort of united the big blockers with the middle of the road companies. But there was still a split. There's still like a 1 and 2. Still we should trust core. We should just go SegWit. And then no, well, the SegWit 2x compromise, we should do that. Now there's a third wild card, right? Because Satoshi himself, right? Craig Wright, who claims to be Satoshi, the founder of Bitcoin, he's back on the scene saying he's got this. He's going to start a new mining pool. It's going to have 20% of the hash power, and he's going to stop SegWit at all costs and do the big blocks and stuff. And so that might interrupt the compromise, and then now you might have just three factions warring over and there might be like a three-way split with Bitcoin. whatever it is coming down soon. So it's going to be pretty fun to watch.
It is fast. That's kind of scary. I mean, right?
It's like,
That's scary.
a month. In about a month, it all goes down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do we get any confirmation on the volume? Because I know we've had different episodes, and
They've said it's pretty good.
Cool. I wanted to go down that list. I'll just kind of read it off, and then we can kind of discuss it. Just kind of read through it. This is a list that we came up with for the Evan interview. We talked about already some of it, the shares, the centralization of the new mining equipment. I think Evan gave a great answer to that. The cost of the new equipment, the open source specs, the Mastodon network is going to pay for it. Will it be free to Mastodon owners? Will it be subsidized in some way if we are paying for it? The Mastodon blinding, which he confirmed. The new privacy solution, which I would like to talk more about that. The mass marketing, I don't think we got too much into that. I think that's off. His Hong Kong move, we talked about that. And the community communication, I think that's a big one.
Yes, I have an idea on that, and I would really like to move forward with this at some point. I think it'd be good to just like here, see how we have this casual conversation. People jump in the live chat, ask us anything. But that's just us. That's just Dash Force. There's now 3 organizations operating under the greater Dash Decentralized Autonomous Organization, right? There's Dash Core, there's Dash Force, and now there's Dash Labs. And Evan's already in Reddit poking around for an intern. So there's the 3 groups, right? The 3 pillars of Dash so far are growing. And it would be nice to have something like this, like an hour-long, very conversational podcast where the 3 sub-DAO organizations all come together and then they just take turns answering questions from the audience. And just that would do so much to establish community, communication, and trust. And that's an open invite. I'd be more than happy to organize this. And we'll be reaching out to members of both of those in the coming days to see if we can make this happen. So
now, who is going to be Dash Labs? It's going to be Evan and then Andy, or
No.
That's not clear yet. I know it's going to be Evan and Evan's intern at least. Hi, Evan's intern. I'm just kidding. But it's going to be at least Evan and obviously a team. They said that the Dash Labs will be funded by treasury proposals, just like the rest of us. I don't know who else is being part of that. Andy Freer, at present, is the CTO of Dash Core. So if anything happened with Andy, that part would have to change. But anyway, that's a lot of speculation that I'm not getting into right now. But yeah, the 3 pillars of Dash. Yes, yes, yes. I really want to write some articles to get out of that, to get that concept out, the 3 pillars of Dash. Not only 3, but just that we're not one unit. We're several units under the same goal. And I've been offered an open invitation to still write for Cointelegraph anytime I want. And I might use that opportunity to write some things like about this, because as much as it's great to have Dash Force news as a constant outlet, right, for all the news coming out of the Dash community, it would be good to sort of throw general concepts and bigger things like that into the general consciousness of the crypto sphere. So that's going to be a thing too. And I think this is a really exciting thing, because that was one of the good things about Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin's completely, pretty structureless. It's very, very open and free. And after Satoshi left, there was a Bitcoin core team, but most of Bitcoin was just a bunch of people, right? There's Roger Ver starting his investment empire thing, and you got all the different Bitcoin businesses doing this. There's no representative of Bitcoin, but there's no one who's not a representative of Bitcoin, right? And so Dash is now the same kind of thing, but just a lot more cohesion and structure behind that, and a lot more potential, I think, a lot more strength, but still the same thing where when Ryan was talking about the marketing thing, he actually said, he mentioned Dash Force News, not directly by name, but he did mention that it's good to have a news organization under the Dash DAO that can do stuff like criticize core, right? And that's what we're all cooperative in this main mission to see Dash become the digital cash of the future. But that doesn't mean that we're working for each other, right? trying to cooperate, but we're balancing each other out.
Yeah, I would like to see you do at least one article for Cointelegraph, maybe one article a month or something. And we got to make sure we put we got to put a disclaimer on it, that you are part of Dash Force or whatever. Because I have seen some other writers who have done for some other coins who we won't mention, who it's clear that they're invested in that coin, but they haven't disclosed it because they're a lot of their articles are focused on this other coin. So yeah, we just need to put a disclaimer just to
yes,
be
of course,
above the board. Yeah.
And that's the good thing about our position is, like, with Bitcoin, no one works for Bitcoin, so no one was disclosing how much they had, how many other coins they had. Were they working for some other company that has a weird conflict of interest? How about working for Blockstream but like pretending to be part of Bitcoin but not biased? Like that whole thing is weird. With us, it's very cut and dry. We get paid by the Dash Masternodes. We run the Dash Force. That's it. You just disclose that. It's all there. We don't have to say, oh, but I own like a house worth of Dogecoin somewhere, and so I'm going to be really nice with them. Like, no, it's all very clear with us.
Mark?
Yeah, there was something I'd like to say.
We're out of time. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. All right, keep going.
There was an update regarding the 10x. So Joe, who is our proposal updates editor for Dash Force News, recently did an article on Monday regarding the 10x wallet dash debit card, and Dr. Julian Hosp, I think it is, he kind of didn't take too pleasing to it on Twitter, where we share our links on the main Dash Force News Twitter account. So I actually downloaded the 10x app on my Android phone, and I sent him a screenshot, and it wasn't working. There was only Bitcoin available. There's no Dash, no nothing. And he was kind of not hostile, but he just said it was like a non-issue, and he kind of made it sound like he felt that he'd been treated unfairly. Anyway, cut a long story short, there was an update on the app today. I've updated it. Now, Dash is actually listed in the currencies. However, when you click the Dash button to switch to the currency from Bitcoin, it says to contact support@10x.com to enable that feature. So it's still not set by default, but there is a way to go around it. And he did tweet me and say, drop me an email if you want me to send you a card or whatever, and I'll get you set up. But however, I would like it to be out-the-box solution. It should be set by default. You shouldn't have to go all the way to support just to enable something. So the app is still classed as unreleased. It's still in development, and I guess they're still testing bugs or whatever. But I think that was an important point to establish, because I think we briefly touched on this last Friday in episode 5 of the podcast.
Yeah, I thought Joe's article was spot on. I think if anything, he kind of, he didn't even, he was nice to him. It was just all the facts. I mean, there's been issues with that proposal, and I'd ask him to look into it, and I looked into it. I asked some questions about it. I thought he did a great job. I thought it was more than fair, because it was kind of late. The proposal is late, and I do believe they're going to do it. They've been very good in answering questions and stuff, but it is late, and it was supposed to have been like in a month. We're going to have the wallet. It was going to be before Charlie Shrem. That's what we were sold on. And now the U.S. But I think they've got it. They've got plenty of money now to implement it. So
yeah, the ICO. That's the thing that we need to keep in mind when we're talking about this. And it seems like the 10x car is going to be really cool. It seems like it's going to happen, and it seems like it's going to support Dash. And that is 100% positive. There's nothing wrong with that. We have to be careful when distinguishing between, are we criticizing the card or are we criticizing the budget proposal, where they got paid by Dash, right, to integrate Dash quickly. And to my understanding right now, it looks like not only did we not get Dash integration on time, but we didn't even get preferential treatment. And we know the other coins didn't pay for it, right? Unless you want to call Ethereum paying for it through the ICO, but that's kind of a bit of a stretch. So I think we might just have to be happy with the card and make sure we never give these guys treasury money again at the same time.
I don't, I'll give them a second. I give everybody a second chance, but yeah, it was a bit of a bait and switch, but I think they're going to come through now, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great card. I guess we're still waiting to see. Yeah, I think it's fourth quarter. The U.S. is supposed to open up. Yeah, I'm disappointed to hear that Mark said that the card, because they did say that, everything was supposed to be working except for the U.S. So, Mark, that's not the case.
No, apparently not. So, US, when you install the app, right, you have to obviously add your phone number, so it's region based, right? And then they've also got to unlock the levels. They've got the KYC, know your customer, to unlock various levels and stuff as well. And to actually get to the card section of the website, to actually click on that, it says you need to register and send all your details off for KYC. I know some people are not going to like that. The jury's still out. The fees, looking at what's available now in terms of Dash debit cards, structure-wise in terms of fees, 10x seems to be the best, if it is true and they do deliver that. However, it was my understanding that this week or sometime soon, Charlie Shrem was meant to give an announcement with Ryan or something, or like an big update regarding his own Dash debit card, especially because of last week announcement by Payzer of integrating 50 different altcoins into their system, which is what Charlie's Dash debit card's based on. So I don't know what's going on there or when the update is. Do any of you guys know when that's going to be, or roughly, or?
Now, let me ask a question though about the 10x card. Is it going to be, or actually Charlie's card? It's going to be a physical card. Is it going to be a virtual card? Because I think the 10x is going to be virtual and physical, correct?
Yeah, 10x. You've got a couple options. So you can do like a virtual card, or you can apply for the physical. And in their McDonald's advert, you can kind of do this cool feature where you use your card, and then you can use the app to unlock the payment as well, just for that extra step of security. My understanding of Charlie, he needs to give a good update, but his one is just card specific. I don't believe it is a virtual pay card, but how Payzer works, they've been offering Bitcoin since 2014. So you log in, you add it in, and then you apply for a card, and it's kind of like a top-up service. So in terms of virtual wallet, I think 10x is the more versatile. Now, unless Charlie comes out with something new, it's possible, but at the moment, it kind of seems like 10x has that opportunity, because you could just use their virtual wallet in the app and be quite happy just using NFC payments.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat that 10x card. I mean, we'll have to see what Charlie comes out with fee-wise, but I mean, they're like zero fees pretty much. It's going to be very difficult to beat that. And if they have the virtual card too, yeah, I'm looking real forward to that card.
Yeah, and especially since, from what I heard, the Charlie card was never meant to hold your funds in Dash. You just load it, right? And the 10x one seems to hold your funds in whatever digital currency you have, and then up to the last moment when you pay. And when Dash keeps on going up like this all the time, I kind of like that idea. But yeah, as far as Charlie's card, there seems to be just a lot of questions still. And so why not tweet at him? Why not be, hey, Charlie, you said there'd be update. Where's the update for the card? He said it would be this week. It's Friday. The week is over, right? It's the weekend. Yeah. So maybe tweet at him, right? Or hit him up on Reddit, Bitcoin _Charlie. Just ask him some questions. Be friendly, though. Come on. This guy's working hard. He's made
Charlie's
a promise.
Super cool. I love that article, that Fortune article he did. That was excellent.
Yeah, he's done a lot of press for us and stuff. He's a cool guy. He's hardworking. Just ask him, because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Just ask him. He'll tell you.
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize that Payzer is already established in 26 different countries. And some of those countries, it's incredibly difficult to get access to cryptocurrencies. So they do play a very pivotal role, and they already are established. So,
Charlie tweeted half an hour ago. That was during this podcast, actually.
What did he say?
Well, he just tweeted his Cointelegraph article where it's about him. It says Bitcoin transaction fees slightly decrease. Charlie Shrem pays 25-cent fee. Well, for one thing, 25 cents is still a lot. but the average Bitcoin transaction fee is still like almost $4, and then the median one is still over $2. I mean, people
I don't
aren't.
want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Bitcoin too much, but how did he get away with a 25-cent fee? How did that? Just briefly, how did that work?
I can say something else, and I'll be reading this while you're saying that.
I saw someone comment underneath that they were all trying to do the transactions, but obviously you need to pay like a premium to do it. So people were doing screenshots saying that they couldn't do it, so they didn't believe him. So
yeah, you could just get lucky. I mean, it depends on what time. He says he sent $2,000 in Bitcoin, paid 25 cents, confirmed in 6 minutes, working.
And what's the average fee of a Bitcoin transaction?
Like,
come on.
Let me get into the actual fee structure, right? The actual
confirmed in 6 minutes. What did he send to? What's the
Yes. So by far the most common fee is $2.24, right? And
what Coinbase charges.
There's 4,100 16-cent transactions. Let's see, where's this 24-cent thing going? There's like only like a couple thousand or 100. Actually, 960 Bitcoin transactions paid what he did. But they probably just didn't confirm forever. Most of them. He must have, you know what it must be? Come on, Charlie, come clean. Use the via BTC transaction accelerator. You just got lucky, you punk. I don't know. Well, it's neither here nor there. The numbers speak. Bitcoin takes a long time to get through, and it costs a lot. And some people get lucky, but if you're not lucky, you're everyone. And there you go.
Where did he send it to? What was it?
I'm not sure. I didn't pry too closely, but you're $2,000, so like a little under a Bitcoin.
Hans Luhmann in the comments says, when I first registered with 10x, I loaded $50 worth of BTC on it, then bought a card for $15 and some other things, and now still have $132 spending power. Gotta love that math. Well, at least someone's got a card, so at least we've established.
You're getting salty there, Mark, aren't you?
Someone has a 10x card. Anyway, I need to give a shout out to Hans because you were helping me out the other day. I was asking some questions. It's much appreciated. So,
on the 10, one more thing on the 10x card. When they did do the first proposal, the virtual card was working. I remember reading in there, and people were trying it, but then it got cut off because I tried to sign up, and then I guess they cut off the beta or the testers. So at one point it did work, and there was cards out, but unfortunately it was cut off like very early on, like right after the proposal passed or somewhere right in there. So
yeah, I've got an announcement to make as well. I was talking to Brian about this last night. Now I'm officially a Dash miner, a cloud miner, but still a Dash miner.
Really? You look like most miners still have all their hair.
Okay, so
Brian got that. You mean miner is in like under 18 years old, under legal age or whatever?
Joel, you shouldn't throw rocks if you live in a glass house.
I know. Yeah. I mean, me looking like I'm like 14, who just been eating ice cream, so I have all the sprinkles still on my face.
My hair's always hitting. Yeah, maybe if we do a charity, maybe if people donate $1,000, I'll show my hair. We'll give it to a charity.
Yeah, well, we'll equally redistribute it amongst the Dash Force members, Bernie Sanders style.
Talk about that Genesis mining, Mark, if you want. It's interesting. Yeah, you're telling me about the prices were crazy, and it's kind of hard to believe, but we know that the hash rate it's going to get more difficult. You're not going to earn what the calculator says today.
Yes, definitely. The difficulty is going to, and I've even noticed today that the terahash rate has just been. I even saw it up to 8 on one of the mining calculators at one point. So the reason why I mentioned Genesis mining, they've obviously been sold out of contracts, Dash mining contracts for a long time. It seems to be the most profitable coin available on Genesis mining. And after seeing so many times where it keeps coming up and then they just sell out after a day, I was kind of scratching my head. I looked at the mining calculators and I thought, I don't own a masternode, but I've been looking at super shares for a long time. Now, for a masternode super share, you need to have 25 Dash. So I was looking at the biggest package that they offer, which is the Graviton package, which is like 500 mega hash, but you can customize it to 1,000 mega hash. And yesterday it worked out just about 24 Dash. So just just under what the 25 super shares you would require. And when you work out the returns on what the calculus was saying, it far succeeded that. Now, there are some things to acknowledge on this equation. One, Brian's right, that the difficulty will go up over time. However, if the Dash price goes up, then it kind of balances itself out again. So
yeah, same like a Masternode share. If the price goes up, then your rewards go up too.
Yeah,
there's a trust issue. The trust issue is my biggest thing, or I would jump all over. I may still buy a little bit of those shares.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you're gonna use MooCalMoose or Splite21 Super Share Service, do you have to send them the coins, right? So it's
I trust them more than I do Genesis Mining, though. That's just bottom line.
But there's an important. This wasn't the point I was going to make. The point is that regardless, you get those 25 Dash so that 25 Dash back, right? With Genesis Mining, it's a 2-year contract, right? So when you cough that up, you're basically, it's like hiring a server. You think about it in that terms. And so you only get that limited time. But however, when you look at the returns, if it does deliver and it stays where it's at, it's going to be crazy. And I can see why people do get the mining bug with Genesis Mining. I now understand why you see all these YouTube videos and people sharing their affiliate codes everywhere. Because
the profits were insane. Yeah, you were showing me. I was like, my God, it was crazy.
But the jury's still out. So here's the thing. I didn't want to pass judgment. Sometimes you've got to be in it, so I have to win it. So in England, there's a common saying, who dares wins. So I wanted to try it so I could know for myself and see what it is, because I know these contracts are going to be sold out at any time soon. Yeah,
you're the guinea pig.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything's good or bad because we've been asked this quite a lot by people. So I just feel like, well, I could put it in a Masternode share, or I could try this and multiply and do different things, right? So I kind of felt that it's kind of diversifying a little bit, right? If you think about it in those terms. And plus, I'm also helping the network a little bit. I'm actually supporting, someone's got to be mining this. So so I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I only signed up last night. I've not even had my first payout yet. I actually haven't checked. So I can't say whether the calculated thing's going to be on point or not. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress in the future. But I just wanted to put that out there.
But so wrapping up on this, leaving the viewers at home with a little bit of uncertainty, right? You have a 2-year mining contract, right? Look at the 2-year evolution roadmap. At what point do miners have to become collateralized, and at what point are they going to sort of be joined in these Masternode super rigs? And how will that affect your payout and your contract and your collateral, etc.?
Yeah, that's what I said. But I think we've got two. I think we got 2 years. But hopefully Mark didn't put any more in than he had. He was warning. I warned him. Did you put more in, or you?
No, I didn't. But I got a good portion.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot.
Well, that might be a good way of diversifying your investments, right? Buy a share with Flare, buy a share with Sploic, buy a share with MooCal, and then buy a share with Genesis Mining, or get a contract there, and then they have to take them all out to take you out, right?
Yeah, Mark, I hope he doesn't mind me saying he's pretty close to getting his Masternode anyway. I'm pretty close to getting my next one, but he's pretty close.
Well, I was close, but not so much anymore. But like let's see what happens. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens, because I've done CPU mining and stuff before with well, I'm going to say shit coins. Do you remember like Nion coin and all that sort of stuff? I mean, this is years and years ago, and maybe a bit of Quark as well back in the day. So I'm not a stranger to sort of mining pools and stuff, but I think in terms of running physical miners and stuff and the whole electricity, keeping the uptime and stuff at home, for me, it's just something not possible. So the cloud mining thing was always kind of a bit off and on, but it's been years now. There's a guy called I think it's Trevon James or something. He's got probably YouTube channel. He's had a Genesis mining thing for like nearly 2 years now. So a bit like Evan with the Dash Labs in Hong Kong, that the business is registered there obviously for legal and legislation reasons. The main head honchos, I believe, are based in Germany, and then the operations are based in Iceland. So they've obviously got a system in place. And yeah, I'm sure with all these YouTube channels, if it was a scam and they weren't getting all these things, they wouldn't be making the videos, because it would be damaging their credibility, right? Their followers would be signing up, and then they would be screaming bloody murder at them. So yeah.
Of course.
How are we doing on time?
I think we're right at the time where we got to be going.
Any more questions real quick?
Yeah. So we'll give you like 30 seconds to ask a last question. But yeah, it's good to have these chats every week. It just, a lot of it, you get to work out a lot of questions people have. You got to work out a lot of ideas you might have. And it just sort of keeps you from, oh yes. All right. So the last one, which should be a quick one, right? Please, some words to Amanda's hiatus. Well,
good question.
Some people might have seen Amanda B. Johnson reflected on her 1-year anniversary of the Weekly Wednesday show. Congrats. And it seems like she's taking a vacation, right? And she made it seem like it was just a vacation, and also mentioned something cryptic about when the Mastodon Network wants her to be back, she will consider that option, which made it sound a little bit more permanent. But so first off, do you want to really know? You should talk to Amanda, right? Because what better way to know than to actually know from the person who has some authority over that knowledge. As for my personal feelings, I think she's done a lot. She's been in the crypto space for many years, right? And she's been a Dash fan for many years, and she's been working for Dash, as she said, for about a year. And I don't think we've seen the last of her, right? She's been making YouTube videos for a decade. I don't know. It's been a long time. And she's good at this. I think she's going to be around again. As for, will she work under a Dash contract again? Who knows? Will we see her on some show again? Who knows? Has she sold all her Dash and is fully invested in 50-50 between Pivx and Monero? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But good thing the Dash network is doing very well, and good thing is, thanks to people like her, we've gotten this far, that we're strong enough to not necessarily be so reliant anymore. So
yeah, I'm sure thank you. I'm sure she needed a break. That last campaign that she did, that was crazy. I mean, that just went viral and blew up. And yeah, she's, like you said, she's been at it a year. We've been doing Dashforce for a while. I've been doing Dashforce for, I don't know how many, 8 months, or it's crazy, or I don't know how long, but it does get tiring day in and day out. Thank God I brought you guys on, because the load was getting very, very heavy. You guys have helped out tremendously and split that load, because I was getting a bit burned out there doing the 12-hour plus days, and sometimes more than that. It was, yeah. So sure, she felt that on that last campaign where she was just, I mean, that got crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Her and Pete together, poor guy.
Yeah, Pete. Yeah, shout out to Pete.
Pete. Yeah, Pete's the first person in the crypto space I ever met. I met him 10 years ago in DC when we were both working over there. So yeah, it's
Cato. You did Cato, didn't you, Joel?
Yeah, back in the day, and I was doing that, and he was running Bureaucrash. And so back in the day, I mean, it's funny because our paths just took us to the same spot. So I have to think that all of us who end up where we do are kind of chasing the same carrot, right? It's like there's a lot of people that come into crypto and go different ways, but they all wanted different things. If you want what I want, right? You want a peer-to-peer, censorship-resistant digital cash for the world to keep everyone in control of their own finances and really lift the world out of poverty. If we really want that, we'll probably all end up working in Dash. That's where we're at. That might be a good thing to end on, guys. So, all right, I'm going to be signing off. Thanks for joining us, dudes and dudettes.
Mark?
Thanks for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe.
And comment.
And comment as well.
Upvote.
And share it. Why not? Share it as well. Share it everywhere. Facebook, Twitter. The drill.
Tune in next time. We'll try to give you an hour lead time to get all your stuff in order. But yeah, let's just say 3 p.m. Eastern time next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
That's my line.
There we go. All right. Peace out, guys.
See y'all.
Bye.
Catch
Next
you
week.
later.